I can only film when you're stopped. It's against the law to film when you're driving in Tokyo, which is probably really smart.
Hey everyone, it's Matt Munson here. Welcome back to the Project Workbench. In today's video, I'm super excited to share with you an experience that I've wanted to have for a couple of years now, magnified so for at least 1 year, and that is driving go-karts through the streets of Tokyo. I actually tried to do this last time I was here about a year ago, but here's the catch. If there's one thing you take away from this video, let it be this. You must have an international driver's license in order to do this, and they do not issue them here. You have to get it in your home country. So if you're in the United States, head on down to AAA, walk in there with your membership, drop the 20 bucks for a set of photos and the 20 bucks for a driver's license, and you'll walk away with it that day. Without that, it's a no-go, and there's no way around it. Believe me, I tried. Okay, so with that said, for some reason, I was able to capture a ton of footage from this ride. I actually didn't think I was going to, because this camera I'm using, the DJI Pocket 2, is not an action camera. I had a little armband thing that's used for like conventions for like holding your wallet or your phone or something, and it was strapped to my arm, and I just dropped the camera in there. It wasn't really like a formal mount, and so the camera was kind of going all over the place during the ride, but to my surprise, I recorded way more than I thought I was going to. So I'm faced with a dilemma. Do I share with you all that footage, or do I just cut it into like a 5-minute highlight reel? Option B is, would it be option C? Option C is do both. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you as much footage as I could salvage. There's definitely some stuff that didn't come through. So I'm going to cut it down. It's going to be a long video, but I thought what I could do to distract and entertain you while you're watching it is actually read to you the journal entry I made describing this experience from start to finish. So this is going to be pretty thorough. You'll hear about what it was like from start to finish, checking in with the Monkey Karts. That's the company I went with, by the way. And I went with their 90-minute tour, by the way, which was the right choice. So that's the setup. Let's get things rolling. All right, let's see if we can get a good shot this time. It's a little tough. The camera keeps turning off. Let's see what we can do. September 11th, 2024. I arrived at the Monkey Karts building early. My resi was for 4 o'clock, and the website insisted you arrive 20 minutes prior to that. I was there at 3:20. This all turned out great, as I not only hate rushing, but I love minimizing unknowns. It looked to me like they were putting away carts from the last outing. A couple of folks had also just arrived, so I followed them from a distance. I was greeted by a Viking-looking dude who gave me a traditional Japanese greetings and a bow. I'll tell you what though, this is super fun. This does not disappoint. To which I gave a hillbilly-esque hi in response. I really need to work on my Japanese. We just passed Tokyo Tower. If this video happens to work out and you can hear any audio, I will tell you this is everything I hoped for. The gent pointed me inside, where another gent was waiting behind the counter. First thing that happened when I walked in the door is they offered me a bottle of really cold water. I gladly accepted. Today was another hot day, and I had been walking in direct sun for a bit. The cold water was extremely welcome. Bro behind the counter asked for my international driver's license and passport. He was surprised to see a Kiwi passport and a driver's license issued in California. I explained to him that I'm a New Zealand citizen, but I live in Los Angeles. He thought that was cool. He points to a QR code and tells me if I follow their Instagram account, they will cover liability insurance for free. Good little bit of marketing there. Without hesitation, I scan the code and add them. I'm then directed up a very steep set of stairs into a loft area with tragically low ceilings. The building looks to be a warehouse that was converted into the Monkey Karts headquarters. It's super nice, very clean, very tidy. There were lockers upstairs where you could stow your bag, no extra charge. There's a kitchen there with a fridge filled with more waters. I think I'm getting some pretty good footage. I guess that's a TBD, huh? We shall see. But who cares? What's important is the clothes rack filled with costumes. This, of course, is my jam. From what legend tells us, up until a few years ago, you could get Mario and Luigi costumes. That was the state of the union when I first discovered these go-kart rides through Tokyo. I thought that was truly awesome. But apparently, Nintendo caught on after there was an accident with one of the kart companies. Yes, there's more than one, and issued a cease and desist. And fair enough, I mean, come on. It just sucks for me because I wanted to dress as Mario. They still have a ton of Pokemon-inspired stuff, maybe even actual Pokemon. The two people who I walked in behind have chose Pikachu head wraps but no costumes. I heard the woman say something like, "It's so hot outside, I don't want to wear a onesie and boil alive." Hello! Wise words, but they had no effect on me. I was gonna live the dream. Oh, I know where I am. I was here just the other day. I'm in Roppongi right now. There's that artwork that I posted just the other day to my Instagram, Matt Munson Adventures. I selected what I think was a Godzilla-themed onesie. Maybe it was just a big green lizard onesie. Who knows? Shake Shack, let's go. It had little mittens you could put your hands into to give you felt claws. It fit like a charm, which surprised me. I actually kind of looked good in it. Kill Bill, over there somewhere, or so I'm told, when I checked myself out in the mirror. Right before leaving for the ride, I grabbed a Naruto hat and some Minecraft-looking sunglasses to complete the outfit. But there was still business to attend to up in the loft. Just sitting there in the air-conditioned room was delightful. There were a few couches set up for lounging, windows to peek out of. It was all quite nice. It felt like a very polished operation. They were very purposeful about making a good experience for the drivers. There were 5 of us total in this group. I think the size of the groups are 6 to 8. Based on the number of carts I saw in the garage, that's my guess. And they have a couple tours running simultaneously. It was really, really nice to just sit on the couch, sip cold water, and chill in my not Godzilla, for copyright reasons, union suit for a few minutes. Not much chatter among the group members, even though we all spoke English. Oh, they booked the tours by language, by the way. There's no danger of having like a group with members that all speak different languages. As 4 o'clock struck, the Viking dude from earlier came up and played a little video for us. It went over safety, how to operate the go-kart, and the hand signals that the group leader would be using to help guide us. My brain held on to about half of the information, but the most critical stuff about hand signals I retained. They usher us down the super steep staircase I mentioned earlier and into the garage, which is now filled with carts. You pretty much just grab anyone you want, though I was unable to distinguish one from the other. They all looked the same to me. Dude, I'm Tokyo drifting right now. You don't even know. All right, so that signal he's giving right there, the hang loose. That means we line up. I plopped into the one I wanted, adjusted the seat, fastened my seatbelt, and was ready to roll. I got some help starting it up as I'd forgotten the 4-step sequence: button, brake, trigger, gas, and was on my way. So far, this is absolutely amazing. This is fantastic. Everything I hoped for. We just took some photos. Yeah, all right, let's get ready for some more. have no idea where we are right now. But man, you really do get a unique view of Tokyo, that's for sure. It took all about 10 seconds to get comfortable with the controls. The gas needs a good press before it engages. The brakes are sensitive. The steering is sluggish. That's about it. It became natural very fast. We all pulled out of the garage and lined up behind Ken. Ken was driving one of those Boffo tricycles. All the fun of a motorcycle, but with significantly reduced chance of dying painfully, quickly, and miserable. You go, Ken. Let's get it on! Ken reminded me deeply of Natsuke the Man, a recurring character from the Abroad in Japan YouTube channel. He looked like him, and his English had the same cadence and feel as Natsuke's. I felt like I was in the presence of greatness. He was both enthusiastic and fun and took photos of the group at every stoplight. I avoid cliche, I really do, but it's so hard to put into words how amazing this experience was. I like it. The dude takes pictures at like every stop sign. I always hate it when people say, I have no words, because clearly you have 4 at least and you just said them. Silence would be the indicator that you have no words. I joke. But seriously, I've wanted to have this experience for years, especially since my last trip to Tokyo, where it was denied to me due to lack of international driver's license. The open cockpit is really the first thing I noticed. It put a little bit of fear into me, but I just had to put it aside. I'm sure this is dangerous. Not as dangerous as riding a motorcycle, but maybe so in different ways. You're very low to the ground. I imagine it makes you difficult to see for people in trucks. We've already been going for an hour now. I can't believe it. Or about 50 minutes, I take it back. So only 30 minutes. Man, time flies fast. Fast on this tour. So if you're taking one of the shorter tours, be ready for it to be over instantly. All right, here we go. Let's do some more. The guide tries to keep the group together, and I don't think at any time we were divided by a car or other vehicle, just by distance. I was bringing up the rear. I felt like my accelerator was a little stingy, but it may have just been me. I had trouble keeping up with the pack, but I think it was largely due to my defensive driving that has been so ingrained into me during my time on the streets of Los Angeles. I signed up for the longest tour they offer, which is 90 minutes. I'm so glad I did too, because after what felt like about 15 minutes, I took a look at my watch and realized the first 60 minutes had already passed us by. It's just such a mix of feelings and activities. You're juggling multiple agendas. On the one hand, you're trying to keep up with the guide. You're also avoiding getting killed. You're staying in formation, and you're looking for hand signals from Ken. He indicates whether to go single file, side by side, or to speed up to make it through an intersection, or stop for pedestrians. All the while, you're trying to soak in the scenery. So many sights to see. I'd never actually been on the streets of Tokyo in a vehicle, much less one I'm driving. For me, unique poses for the photos Ken was taking at each stoplight was also of the utmost import. Oh, are we at Takashita Street? I feel like we're... No. We are? I think it's just down the bottom of the hill here. Yeah, this is it. Yoshinoya, that sounds good. So this is where I was just the other day. I was juggling my gimbal camera, which I was wearing a little shoulder harness for, and making sure it was on and working frequently. In hindsight, I should have done this differently. Either should have rented a GoPro from Monkey Karts, which they offer, or made a much better harness for my camera. It kept slipping and turning itself off. I still got a ton of footage, but it was pesky. It took up a lot of my attention. Ken was also very encouraging when it came to waving to onlookers. I forget how startling it must be for a pedestrian to see a group of 5 costumed go-karters drive by, especially given all the noise the machines kick up. It's hard to miss. Ken was waving violently at them, posing for pictures, giving them the hang loose sign, and you frankly could not help but join in. Lastly, at each stop, I pulled out my iPhone and grabbed my DJI Pocket to shoot some footage or take some photos.
Oh yeah, it's up ahead.
Shibuya crossing. Sir. 1, 2, 3.
Here we go, Shibuya Crossing. To be short about it, there was a lot going on and the time flew by. I was super glad I brought the sunglasses and hat, as the air tends to really blast you when you're doing 40 miles an hour down a Tokyo street. I'm sure my eyes would have been dried out had I not. All right, I think I got it. That was great. Oh, also, Debbie Downer, who didn't want to wear the onesie because it might get hot, joke's on you, because it was actually quite cool with all the aforementioned air blowing on you at high speeds. I would say, if anything, the non-Godzilla onesie was helping to keep me warm. Hey! Got it! Less than halfway through the drive, my face was hurting from smiling so much. It was so fun. An actual dream come true. Achieving something that's been on your list for so long is such a great feeling. The streets of Tokyo themselves are beautiful and immaculate. It's definitely cooling off a lot too. Got a nice cool breeze coming in. No potholes, no trash by the sides of the streets, no graffiti on signs. It's all just pristine, as was the drive. Some of the highlights for me were passing by Tokyo Tower and driving through Shibuya Crossing. Iconic. We zoomed past Takashita Street in Harajuku, and the thought that went through my mind was, I'm glad I saw that on foot the other day. There was a point near the end of the tour when we got the go-karts up to 50 miles per hour twice. There was a long stretch road that had two sections where there was a dip in the road to go under an overpass and then rise out. Ken really dropped the pedal on the dips, and I saw the speedometer hit 50. I was shocked. We were really flying. I spotted a Don Quixote and was pleased with myself for recognizing something local. I have nothing bad to say about the tour, but I do have a consideration. It is not a sightseeing tour. It's a driving experience. Don Quixote! You move through Tokyo so quickly, and you're so focused on all the tasks in front of you that you barely have time or brain space to register all the things that you're actually seeing, much less destination spots. We were lucky enough to stop at red lights in front of Tokyo Tower and Shibuya Crossing, allowing us time to really soak it in, take some pictures, and appreciate the moment. Takashita Street? Not so much. I couldn't even tell you what other icons we passed by. It all just blurred into the city. This is not a bad thing. I had the time of my life, and it shouldn't be taken as a criticism. But if you're planning on using this as a sightseeing tour, I think you'll be disappointed. I think we might be behind schedule or something. He's really started moving.
1, 2, 3.
We just went really fast. We hit 50 miles an hour. Also good for me is all the high points on the tour are places I've visited before on foot with plenty of time to leisurely explore them. I just checked the website for specifics. I took what's called the Monkey Cart Shinagawa Route 3 tour. Their website describes it as follows. Embark on an unforgettable Tokyo journey with Monkey Cart's Shinagawa Route 3, where you'll marvel at the majestic Tokyo Tower, explore the cultural hub of Roppongi Hills, and navigate the vibrant streets of Harajuku and Omotesandro. Cap off your adventure with a glimpse at the legendary Jingu Baseball Stadium. Let Monkey Kart guide you through Tokyo's diverse landscapes, promising unforgettable experiences at every turn. End quote. The short version is 90-minute tour: Tokyo Tower, Shibuya Crossing, Harajuku, Omotesando, Jingu Baseball Stadium. I have no idea what Omotesando was, and I couldn't give a rat's ass about Jingu Stadium. What I was most excited about was the time on the road, so I took the longest tour they offered. Super glad I did, too. I think because I was such a reluctant driver, Ken cycled me up to the front. I've studied laws of constraint a lot over the years, so I see right through you, Ken. Move the weak link to the front of the chain. I see you. It actually all worked out as everyone got some time in pole position. But I think I was there the longest. I was kind of happy about it because it meant I would be in a good posse for all the photos Ken was snapping. That's turning a frown upside down right there. Also, following Ken was a lot less stress than following from the back of the pack. The fear being that you're going to miss a turn or get caught in a stale yellow light. It all worked out, and kudos to Ken for being such an excellent resource manager. The very second my brain started to say, okay, I think I'm good, I realized we were rounding the corner and headed back to base. Also, my butt was a little sore. The suspension on my I Heart Tokyo branded go-kart got nothing on the Chrysler 300 back home. 90 minutes was literally the perfect amount of time for this trip. I'm so glad I selected the one I did. I feel like we're wrapping up soon. It's almost 5:30, so we're probably on our way back to base now. Bummer. The timing was also great as we had some traffic and plenty of stretches without. I'm really not familiar with traffic flow patterns in Tokyo. For all I know, I picked the worst possible time of the day. For me, it provided plenty of opportunities to pull my camera out to film, which you're not allowed to do while driving, only at stoplights, and just get my bearings. We rolled into base and everyone seemed just as high on adrenaline and smiles as I was. Ken airdropped each of us all the photos he took. He then presented us each with a printout of a group photo he took early in the trip, with the Monkey Kart info printed on it and a business card on the back. If you've come this far, you probably know what I'm going to say next. If this was any place in America, they'd say, if you want those photos, they're an additional 20 bucks, or you can get 2 for 10. Here's a printout, 5 bucks please. If you want the full digital package plus the printout, we can offer a 10% discount. Always with the upsell. Always with the hogwash. It's never enough to just take your money for what you signed up for. They always have to trap you into buying more, extract more money out of you with the once-in-a-lifetime souvenirs. Makes me sick to my stomach. Totally absent here. My brain registered all of this as it was unfolding. Ken was taking the time to thank each person for an awesome trip, then transferred all the photos he took over to your phone. Many of them had filters on them to make them look wild, and the company logo planted at the bottom. But he also provided the original, unfiltered, unstamped photos. It was at that moment I knew I had to tip Ken heavily. Even though Japan is not a tipping culture, part of the instructional video at the start said drivers do appreciate tips. I did not see anyone pass on yen to him. Not to say they didn't, but I knew I was going to. Since I was the last in, I was also the last out. That's it, we're back. Looking forward to seeing how much this footage actually turned out. After we had all gone upstairs and taken our costumes off, then retrieved our belongings, we headed downstairs. I thanked Ken and handed him every spare yen I had on my person. He shook my hand and said, "Very good LA driver." Kinder words, never spoken. And that, my friends, is the story of monkey carts on the streets of Tokyo. I cannot stress enough how fantastic it was. It was a really great time, really great experience. For me, the 90-minute one was absolutely the right choice, and I think you should make that choice too. Anyway, huge shout out to Monkey Carts. There'll be a link in the description below if you want to sign up with them. Tell them Matt Munson Adventures sent you. Not that there's a discount code or anything, but I'm sure they would appreciate the referral. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you for the next one.